Alright, man, peace. So, brother, this is going to be the fight preview video for the Titanic rematch between Mr. Deontay Wilder and Mr. Tyson Fury. For those of us who saw the first match, there was quite a bit of dispute over who actually won. It was officially declared a majority draw. So we'll see what happens in this rematch. As for me, I must acknowledge that this is one of the more difficult fights for me to prognosticate. As of right now, I'm going to tentatively state that I will pick Mr. Tyson Fury by decision, but that is conditional. I will go over the various conditions over the course of this video. One of the great fighters of the last 10 years, Mr. Andre Ward, as well as the former two-time welterweight champion, Mr. Shawn Porter, sat down with the panel for Speak for Yourself, and they went over many of the various parameters surrounding the fight, as well as their views over who might possibly win. So, of course, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in. I'm very sure that Sports Illustrated did not award Andre Ward with the 2010 Fighter of the Decade. I'm pretty sure that it was the 2010 Fighter of the Year.
And two-time welterweight champion Shawn Showtime Porter. Thank you guys for joining us.
For having us.
Listen, let's start with the commission banning these guys from having a stare down today. I think it's a bit of an overreaction.
No, sir. It was very intelligent. You always protect the money. You always protect the bag. For people who are there to see a little cheap pushing and shoving that could escalate to a brawl on stage, they're going to miss out. But for those of us who understand why the event is actually being held, it was a very intelligent and prudent decision.
But I also think the tension is really high between these two guys. The emotion is real.
I'm in the same vein that you're in. Like, the beef is real. Like, you're really trying to hurt me. You know, that's how Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury feel.
That's a part of it. We also have to understand that between those two fighters, they consider themselves the best heavyweights in the world. Neither one of them consider Anthony Joshua in their class. So what we're going to see are two Brahma Bulls come together. And the reason why I state that as of right now, I'm going to pick Mr. Tyson Fury to win by decision, but it's conditional, is because over the course of the build-up to this fight, he stated numerous times that he intends to change his fight plan. And I think that that would be a tactical error. We'll find out tonight. He's claimed that he's going to come to the weigh-in weighing around 270 pounds. Many people thought that he was bluffing. It turned out that he was being sincere. He's also stated that his new fight plan would be that he would go toe-to-toe with Deontay Wilder and try to knock him out early. He's predicting a second-round knockout. Many people are saying they think that Tyson Fury is possibly bluffing because who would want to go toe-to-toe with Deontay Wilder? Well, I think that he's telling the truth. And the reason why I think that he's being forthright and honest about what he's saying is because he changed trainers. If you're going to keep the same fight plan, you wouldn't change trainers. If he was bluffing, I think that the change in trainers would be very irrelevant. Why change trainers just to maintain a facade? That would make no sense. You'd be wasting the trainer's time and your own time because, of course, the trainer has a different view for how you should attack Mr. Deontay Wilder. So I do think that Tyson Fury is considering making some strategic errors, at least when it comes to his mindset for this fight. What are the keys to victory for both fighters? Tyson Fury, he would just have to fight a smarter version of his previous fight against Deontay Wilder. That being, stay on the outside, jab, do not allow himself to get caught in the corners, and understand how to weave Deontay's right hand better. Timothy Bradley did a great job of breaking it down in a segment that I saw earlier this week when he stated that whatever punch a fighter throws, you have to go the opposite way. So if the fighter throws the right hand, you have to move your head to the left, so on and so forth. Tyson Fury got caught trying to sway the right hand by moving his head to the right, but his feet were in bad position and he was still too close to Deontay. That's why he kept getting caught with that right hand over the course of their first bout. And a couple of times it was almost devastating for Tyson Fury. I think that his strategy to change and become more aggressive could be a mistake, but who knows? Fortune favors the bold. Sometimes great boxers, they surprise great punchers when they decide that they're going to exchange early, try to take the puncher's confidence away, and then intermix their boxing style with surprise attacks throughout the fight. We saw that in the fight with Cassius Clay against Sonny Liston. We saw that when Sweet Pea fought Julio Cesar Chavez. We saw that when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo. So sometimes all-time great boxers, they're great at chicanery. They're excellent at keeping their opponent off balance. We'll see what Fury has planned for this fight. But I do believe that if he intends to exchange, he should make sure that he ends all of his combinations with a left hook to the body. The same advice that I have for Tony Harrison in his rematch against Charlo. A lot of Fury's combinations in their first bout did not end properly. That's why he was unable to inflict the amount of damage that he should have been able to inflict with as many times as he was able to catch Wilder flush. He caught him flush with a lot of good punches. And despite what Wilder says, he was hurt multiple times in their first fight. It's just that Fury was unable to finish because his mindset was not right. But he should finish his combinations with left hooks to the body to hopefully, for his sake, diminish some of Wilder's power. Now, from Wilder's perspective, the keys to victory are for him to use an authoritative left jab, a punch that he very rarely uses. Wilder is very unfortunate because had he been schooled better and started boxing younger, we'd probably be making arguments that he could be considered the greatest fighter of all time without a shadow of a doubt. As of right now, he's in the conversation for the greatest pure puncher of all time. But had he been shown how to use a jab and how to dominate fights with a jab, better defense, better foot movement, we might be calling him the Ray Robinson of the heavyweight division. But we have to go with what we see right now. When it comes to Wilder, once again, use the jab throughout the fight. Don't chase Fury around the ring if he decides to run. Remember, he's 273 pounds. I doubt if he's going to be able to move with the same amount of fluidity that he had in their first fight. You don't just want to wait and sit back because Fury's probably going to be outboxing him over the course of the fight. But I don't think that he should get into the habit of chasing him around the ring too much. Hopefully he's learned to cut off the ring better. But Wilder also, early in the fight, if he's able to get close to Fury and let off some combinations, he should also be finishing his combinations with left hooks to the body to try to stop Fury from engaging with him and also try to stop him from moving so much. Because I do believe that Fury, even if he's sincere about trying to knock Wilder out early, if he's not successful, he's going to go back to what he's always been known for and for what he does best, which is trying to box and move. So both fighters should be trying to end their combinations with left hooks to the body early in the fight. Fury to try to diminish some of Wilder's punching power. Wilder to try to diminish some of Fury's movement throughout the bout. This is a very close fight. Once again, I'm not quite sure who's going to win, but I will say this. If Fury's able to go 12 rounds and not get knocked down, he should be able to win a decision. I don't see Wilder being able to outbox Tyson Fury over 12 rounds without 2 or 3 knockdowns. That's the only way that I could possibly see him getting a decision or anything close like another draw, something along those lines. Because I thought he lost the first fight myself. I thought Wilder lost the first fight, even with the 2 knockdowns.
Each of those guys are trying to take food out of their baby's mouth, and that's real in boxing because when you lose a fight, your pay scale changes. You don't make that amount in the next fight. So all of that stuff that we say is real. So they're dealing with all of that, the magnitude of the event, and then you got a guy in your face talking crazy. So it's going to be some tension. I think if they were able to do the weigh-in later today, face-to-face, I think they'd be fine. But Bob Bennett, the executive officer, the head commissioner here, I get it. He's not trying to mess up his money, and he's not trying to mess up their money. So he's
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. The point is to get these guys into the ring, not to have them tussle on some stage somewhere for the entertainment of people who don't quite understand what this event is actually about. I don't care to see Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury in a street fight before their actual fight.
precaution.
But Dre, it is what it is. Wednesday. Let me ask you, have you ever seen a face-off like you saw on Wednesday? It was premature. It was early. But I got an epic face-off. I had never seen a face-off like that ended the way that they were able to resolve it. So I'm not mad about not having a face-off today. Because I think we got everything we needed Wednesday, and I think we're going to get the rest today.
But we've seen intensity in those moments before, but this is another level. Why is it so deeply rooted, and why are we in this moment right now?
Because it's a lot on the line. It's a lot of money on the line. It's legacy on the line. It's reputation on the line. It's bragging rights on the line. You got two dudes full of testosterone, tired of hearing about each other, tired of looking at each other, and now we about to get it on Saturday night. I don't want you in my face talking crazy. Move, get back. That's where
And once again, beyond that, whoever wins this fight is most likely going to be considered the best heavyweight of this era. because I believe that whoever wins this fight is going to beat Anthony Joshua, should they ever get the chance to fight him.
Okay, no, Bob's like, I'm too old for this.
Bob stays out the way. Yeah, y'all young folks do
He
that.
said, I'm too old for this. We just gonna break it up all together, get on the scale, and then have a nice day.
Are you buying that Tyson Fury is going to bring the fight to Deontay Wilder?
I done ate all that up, man. I do. I believe it.
I agree. I think that he's going to do something very silly early on and try to come at this man Wilder. Or maybe in his mind, Deontay Wilder is a slow starter. I have no idea what Tyson Fury is going to be thinking, but at the weigh-in, Wilder did what I thought he was going to do, which is come in at an appropriate weight for him. In their first fight, he was a bit too light. Deontay Wilder is a naturally blessed and gifted athlete. So he's one of these guys who, there's never any speculation about him being on any performance enhancers or anything like that, because you can look at him and see he's a natural athlete. The way that his body loses fat so quickly, he's just naturally gifted in that way. But it was very clear to me that he was too light in the ass in their first fight. And in his mind, I'm sure that he believes that he had the 12 additional pounds that he's put on for this fight and the last fight, Fury would not have been able to get up from that knockdown in round 12. So that's why I'm not quite sure what Fury's thinking about, other than Fury is still suffering from certain demons in the aftermath of those knockdowns, because Fury understands how this man can punch. I mean, there are guys who hit you so hard that you're like, damn, this guy hits hard. And then there are guys who hit you so hard that you don't even remember what the hell happened. And I believe that scares fighters even more than getting hit by someone who punches hard enough to hurt them. When you get punched by someone who hits so hard that you don't even know what the hell happened, that's scary. And I think that still is affecting Fury to the point where he wants to try to see if he can end this early if possible. And as a plan B, okay, I'll try to outbox him. But as a plan A, I want to get this guy out of here fast because he has magic in his fists.
He's going to take the fight to Deontay. Okay. Yeah. I believe that there's some success that could lie in that. No one's taking the fight to Deontay. We don't know how he's going to react.
I agree with that. Wilder is not someone who fights well going backwards. He's not a particularly well-schooled boxer. He did start fighting relatively late in his life at 19 years old. Most great fighters start somewhere in between the ages of 3 years old to maybe as high as 14 or 15. 19 is late for someone who's been as successful as he's been. The last fighter that I could think of who started boxing that late and was able to achieve somewhere around or an approximate level of success as a Deontay Wilder was Sergio Martinez, the great super middleweight and middleweight champion of, the late 2000s, early 2010s. So it's normal for fighters to get started relatively young, especially the better schooled or more skillful fighters. Deontay Wilder is someone who has a lot of flaws, but he's someone who also has a lot of gifts. Phenomenal heart, great chin, great belief in himself, and of course, unbelievable power. So what exactly is Tyson going to do in this fight? I think that if he's going to try to approach him aggressively, do so responsibly early in the fight, try to collect those early rounds, and then outbox him down the course of the fight, and use even more craftiness. Once again, it makes no sense to me that he's going to try to knock him out. I just don't think that that's a great plan, but we'll see in the bout. I think that he should, utilize certain tactics early that keep Wilder off balance, be aggressive and then step back, box him, and even more hold him, try to frustrate him. Boxers who are very emotional like him, or the Charlos, or Mike Tyson, back in the day Roberto Duran, they hate it when their opponent plays games with them, when they get strategically held and the referee has to break it up, things of that nature. Fury already knows that he's going to come into the fight outweighing Wilder by around 40 pounds. Put that weight on him, hold him. If you're Wilder, you're going to have the conditioning to push Fury off of you. Not only try to impact him with your fist to hurt him, but also to push him off of you. I want to see if there's been any improvements with Wilder and his skill set, because I saw him in his last fight against Ortiz and he was getting thoroughly outboxed for the entire fight, but once again, he has that magic in his fist. So can Fury outbox him? And also, Wilder is a fighter who's at the end of his prime. He's nearing the end of his prime. He's 33 years old. He's not 26 or 27. He's 33. So I'll give him maybe 2-3 more years at this level And after that, we're going to start to see a dissipation. So is he someone who is willing to accept some of the wrinkles of the game, learn to use his jab more, maybe start to embrace a bit more boxing, fighting going backwards, things of that nature to take pressure off of him? We'll see. Has he learned enough from the first Fury fight to now to make some of the adaptations, some of the corrections that got him in trouble in the first fight? We're also going to find out about that. Once again, this is the epitome of a 50-50 fight. I just don't see Wilder outboxing Fury over the course of 12 rounds. I only see him winning by stoppage. If he does win, once again, if Wilder does win over the course of 12 rounds and it goes to decision, it's going to have to be because he's knocked Fury down at least twice, maybe more than that.
Says, well, he's a fighter, how you think he's going to react? Listen, y'all see how everybody reacts when I get all up in them? They have problems.
I like it.
But I want to see if Deontay Wilder has a problem with
being
that.
the better boxer, winning on points without the knockdowns. Basically, Tyson Fury wins that fight without those 2 knockdowns. Why would you change that plan? Who revises that strategy?
Even again,
That's how you know he was traumatized in the first fight. Tyson Fury, even though he won't admit it, he must have been traumatized after the first fight by those knockdowns. He must have either felt something that he never felt before, or after the fight, he was so shocked that he cannot even remember the knockdowns, that he said to himself, wow, this guy is way too dangerous for me to fight the same way again. And he's not confident that he's going to be able to avoid taking a hard right hand from Wilder over the course of 12 rounds. So his idea is to be desperate. Who knows? Sometimes desperation can lead to great things. Sometimes it can lead to tragic things. We'll find out.
we talk about he's saying he wants to knock him out in the first 2 rounds. Maybe he wants to get an early lead, a comfortable early lead, and then start the box after that. So
that's what I see, sir. Now you're getting somewhere.
yes, we all in agreement that his best attribute is his movement, his speed, his elusiveness, and his hand speed. Use that, but try something first, something new first.
And also utilize more frustration techniques. If Wilder traps you on the ropes or in the corner, utilize some feints, try to grab him, get the referee to come separate you. That's going to be the test for Deontay, is how patient will he be tonight, because I'm pretty sure that he's not quite sure what Tyson Fury is really going to do, because he does have that Sly Fox element to him. Tyson Fury does. So Wilder, we'll see. Once again, Wilder has to utilize his jab more. He has long arms. He's a great athlete. Jab to the head and to the body. Get Fury's hands down. Fury might want to consider turning southpaw at some points in the fight, in some rounds, to just throw Wilder off a bit more. He's just going to have to remember to keep moving to the right and stay away from Wilder's right hand while he's doing it.
Is it really a safe place in the ring against Deontay Wilder?
No.
Whether you box him or fight him?
No.
It's really not.
No.
Tyson Fury boxed him the first time around. He almost got counted out in the 12th round.
Yeah.
Like, that dude has an 83-inch reach. So even pulling back and trying to avoid the punches, there's no guarantee you're going to do that. And this is what we're losing sight of from the first fight. Tyson Fury, there were a lot of moments where Fury attacked Deontay Wilder.
And was able to tag him too.
Off on him, 2-3 pieces, and Wilder had no answer. He buzzed Wilder multiple times. I was a guy who was a good boxer, but made his living on fighting guys who were aggressive, big punchers, and it wasn't from staying away, it was going to him. So I like the game plan. It's dangerous, right? It's risky, and at the end of the night, either he's going to be called crazy or crazy as a fox.
Now, Deontay Wilder, like you said, hasn't been pressed.
I like what Andre Ward stated there. And as he stated, he was a fighter who was known for getting into the ring with hard punchers and being aggressive, especially, of course, against Kovalev a couple of times. But my thing is this: once again, we've already seen Tyson Fury outbox Deontay in their first fight. Why completely change the game plan and do certain things that's going to put him even more within the realm of harm?
Stay outside. One, it's either because of fear, or two, you actually respect how he can respond with that pressure. Which one you think it is?
Oh, it's a bunch. It's a bunch. You respect his power, but you also looking at this big dude like, how do I get in him? Yeah, where do I begin? You know, so I think for Deontay Wilder, and I think that, again,
Well, part of that might be valid, but we have to understand, I don't think that Tyson Fury is looking at Deontay Wilder like, where do I begin with this big dude? Because Tyson Fury is bigger than him. So once again, Tyson Fury has to utilize the jab, keep him at distance, in my view. Jab him to the body. If he steps in, finish his combination with the left hook to the body. See if he can wear Deontay Wilder down and try to take away some of that power, especially from the right hand. Frustrate him. Deontay, I just don't think that he has a high enough boxing IQ to be able to outthink Fury in the ring if Fury utilizes everything that he can do. But what Wilder has is that great power. It's not even like in an evaluation for this fight I can say, well, if Fury does this, this is what Deontay Wilder is going to do because of his vast boxing IQ. I've never seen a great boxing IQ from Deontay. And most fighters who have that great punching power, they lean on it. And even when they have a relatively high boxing IQ, everything they do is to set up their opponent to walk into a punch. So if Deontay finds himself in a conundrum where he has to consider trying to win rounds, especially late in the fight, can he do that? Once again, in the Luis Ortiz fight, I thought Ortiz was outsmarting him throughout the bout, but he just happened to get lax and get caught with a perfect right hand, and he was out of there.
Tyson Fury being onto something. How do I get in on Deontay Wilder? How do I attack Deontay Wilder? And I think he's trying to solve that puzzle that no one's been able to solve.
I think the weigh-in later today is going to tell us everything we need to know. If Tyson Fury is high 260s, low 270s, he's looking for a fight more than he is a boxing match. If he's in the 250s, somewhere around with that, around there like he was the first time around, he's looking more for a boxing match than a fight. I think he's going to come in at 270. I've been watching him. 1 minute he looks lean. Next minute I'm like, this dude really is 270.
He been
That's
doing it all.
What we need to know.
He been wearing jackets with sweatshirts on top.
Yeah,
He's playing a mind game.
Yeah, he been wearing the suits, the nice suits and all that. So he's playing
The nice suits. Well, Sean Porter would say that the suits that Tyson Fury wears are nice. They're probably talking to each other like, hey man, damn. Polka dots, plaids, and stripes in one suit? Damn, that's nice. Where you buy that at? Them two, they go suit shopping with Shannon Sharp at tacky.com.
games. At the end of the day, you gotta love this. What Deontay Wilder say yesterday, I think he's made for me and I'm made for him. This is perfect for us. This is perfect for our legacy and for boxing. I think both of these guys have an energy that's unlike no other, especially in the heavyweight division. And we're gonna see it all today and most certainly tomorrow night.
Damn, they're selling the hell out of this fight. It's very obvious that ESPN and Fox Sports 1 took their boxing analysts aside and said, look, you guys, this is going to be a major windfall for us. And you guys are all going to get bonuses in your paycheck. Make sure that you sell the hell out of this damn fight.
A conversation about what Fury will do different in his adjustments. Biggest adjustment we need to see from Wilder.
Listen.
More jabbing. I would say more footwork, but I just don't think that Deontay's ever going to be that guy who uses footwork to set his opponent up. And I think that he's too long in the tooth and too long in the game to actually learn how to box going backwards, because there's so many things that a great puncher can do if they can fight going backwards. Fighters like Ezra Charles and Jersey Joe Walcott, Ray Robinson, they used to set so many opponents up just taking a step back and lulling them to sleep, bringing them in. I'm not quite sure if Deontay has gotten to that level when it comes to bringing fighters in. He's great at suckering fighters into walking into his right hand, but that's normally in the middle of the ring. He's not someone who actually utilizes the entire geography of the ring. So that's where he can get better. But once again, jab to the body also. Bring Fury's hands down and try to come upstairs. That's something that he's going to have to do. But the jab is going to be the key for Wilder, no doubt about it. And also finishing his combinations early in the fight with the left hook to the body to try to slow Fury down. If you want to fight, okay, we can fight, but I'm going to make sure that you can't move.
Wilder, I talking to him yesterday, he said I don't need to make any adjustments.
Oh, really?
I agree.
Oh, really?
But look. He said our game plan was perfect. I just didn't execute it. I got out of myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I was a little anxious and ready to knock this guy out, so I was swinging for the fence, swinging for everything.
So in other words, he does believe that he has to make an adaptation. He's saying that he has to take his time earlier in the fight. Maybe he's saying what I'm saying, that he has to utilize more jabbing, more patience, things of that nature. We'll see. I just don't see that in Deontay, though. Deontay he's an apex predator. He's a lion. He's a shark. Those animals, they they pounce when they see their prey.
I think his adjustment doesn't lie in the boxing style what he's gonna bring, but it's he's gonna manage his emotions.
Yeah.
He's gonna manage his patience and be more poised in the ring and be more accurate. And I think that's where his success lies.
I think the biggest thing I'd like to see Wilder do, like, we know what his gift is, right? The right hand. He's got God-given power. His body doesn't speak to having that kind of power. Skinny dude, rangy, but he.
No, actually it does. Actually, Deontay Wilder's body does speak to having that type of power. When you look at some of the greatest punchers in the history of boxing, many of them had that body type, whether it was Ray Robinson, Tommy Hearns, Mark Breland. A lot of them skinny dudes, they will knock you the fuck out, man.
He's also learned the nuance of setting that power up. He knows how to get a guy in a certain position, wait for the right time, and get it off. I just want him to disguise it a little bit more. If I'm sitting at home on my couch and I know what's coming, that guy that you fighting, he knows it's coming. So he disguises it, and he disguises it by feints, looking like you're going to do something, but actually not doing it, and then using the left hand, the jab. 83-inch reach, man, use your God-given ability.
Agreed. That's why I stated if I'm in Fury's corner, I will consider possibly turning southpaw at certain moments in the fight. Just, of course, turning southpaw with caution, staying away from Wilder's right hand. But just to confuse him and, keep him a little bit off balance. It wouldn't surprise me if Fury tries to turn southpaw at different moments in this fight tonight.
We had Leonard Ellaby on the show earlier this week, and he pushed back against me that I think these two guys, because they're heavyweights, can lift all of boxing. If this fight is what it's supposed to do, everybody in all divisions benefits in a way that Floyd carried the sport for a while, but heavyweights can carry it even further.
You have to.
What the heavyweight division does is it can lift boxing from the fan perspective. What Floyd Mayweather did was lift boxing from the boxer perspective. He opened up their level of comprehension to what was out there when it came to earning potential. And that's what cats like Jason Whitlock don't get when they start talking about boxing. They start to wax nostalgic on the halcyonic days of boxing back in the 70s with Muhammad Ali and the 80s with Mike Tyson. Some of the most corrupt time periods in the history of boxing. Muhammad Ali's reign as heavyweight champion actually helped to take a lot of the control away from the mafia, at least for that time period. Because the mob ran all of boxing up until the Ali era, but because Ali had the Nation of Islam backing him, they were unable to take a piece of the pie from Ali. So when it comes to the heavyweight division, people are always going to love great heavyweight fights. But great heavyweight fighters and championship matches in the heavyweight division are not going to lift the entire sport, meaning it's not going to put food on the table of these other champions in the other weight classes. What puts more food on their table is a higher level of understanding. That's what Floyd Mayweather provided for those fighters back in the 90s and the 2000s, especially in the 2010s, of course.
Homage to Floyd Mayweather because he made it possible for myself, for a lot of us, to make the money that we make right now.
Absolutely.
He transcended the sport. Then you have the heavyweight division that everyone in the world never watches boxing, but they know who a heavyweight is. They know what a heavyweight champion is. America has to have a heavyweight champion, and as long as the heavyweight division thrives, we all thrive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously with Floyd's reign, and as long as he did it, he kind of got us off of the mindset of, as the heavyweight division goes, the sport goes. So it's not quite that anymore. But anytime the heavyweight division is thriving, boxing is thriving. And there's one thing that Floyd was missing in his fights that the casual fan yearned for.
What they want now.
The imminence, right?
Yeah.
Feeling like this fight could end at any point in time. I respected Floyd. Right? He was one of my legends, one of the guys I looked up to, but I understood the nuance of what I was looking at. The casual fan doesn't. But they understand a knockout.
They understand a knockout.
They understand that clearly.
We getting that tomorrow.
Ooh.
Now ask me who.
I'm getting it right now because if you look at the...
See what happened with Fury right there with that knockdown? His feet were too stationary. If he's going to do something, he's going to have to move either side to side, either to the left or to the right, preferably to the right to stay away from Wilder's right hand, or just grab him. Well, feint him and grab him and frustrate him. Make the ref keep having to break you guys up. I promise you that's going to piss Wilder off over the course of the fight.
We've all seen big fights. This seems really big. I mean, as I was coming in around 8 this morning, I saw at the lobby bar, MGM is packed. Y'all didn't catch that. But it is mega. But which one is the bigger star? Is it Fury or is it Wilder?
The bigger star globally right now is Fury. Because Fury has the European fan base and he's well known in America. Wilder, he does a great job of marketing himself. But he's still relatively local if you consider the United States local. That's why the fight with Joshua is bigger for Wilder than it would be for Fury. Because Fury already has a fan base and notoriety overseas and in Britain. But whoever wins this fight is going to be the bigger star. Right now, it's not about who's the bigger star before the fight. It's going to be who will be the bigger star after the fight, and that's whoever wins.
Star? It's gotta be Fury, because Fury he's multi-dimensional. You know, he can do a whole lot, and he can do that everywhere. He just did it in the WWE. He just did it in wherever they were. They were in Europe or something like that, in Africa. Yeah. He did it over there. He's been everywhere. He's been able to translate everywhere he's been. So I think right now,
so this draw is greater for Fury, you think, right now, than it is Wilder.
You know, and they got into that argument during the presser. Who brought all these people here?
That's what I'm asking.
They both did.
Yeah, don't do that. Get off that fence.
They both did. Okay. But if we being real, it's a lot of foreigners here today. It's a lot of foreigners.
Listen, I'm not gonna get caught up in all the semantics of who brought the fans, who didn't. The winner of this fight, that's the bigger star.
Yeah.
Now you see what Andre Ward did there? He saved Sean Porter. Because once again, due to the fact that this is a dual ESPN and Fox extravaganza, it's very obvious that both sides have been told, make sure that when you're interviewed about this fight, that you don't go out of your way to give any predictions so that it does not look like you're being partial. That's what I stated in a video that I did. I believe that it was the aftermath of the Terrence Crawford fight, and also Teofimo Lopez was on that card. And Timothy Bradley decided that he was going to be very unprofessional, and Andre Ward as well to a degree, trying to call out Errol Spence and saying that you're scared and you're cowardly. And I stated, when you're trying to negotiate between networks and you get on TV and you show how partisan you are, that is going to play a factor, because now they're not going to want you to be involved with the telecast, because you could influence the viewers on who they think is winning the fight, because most people who watch these fights don't even know how to score a fight. So they have to make sure that these announcers are as impartial as possible. So once again, Andre Ward, he saw what they were doing to Sean Porter. They were pulling him into that who's more important to the fight, who's has the greater star power, all this bullshit. So Andre Ward jumped in and said, let me handle this.
The one that's going to graduate, that's the one that's going to be the household name. They both getting a check, but one person's leaving here with a different cachet when they get out that ring if they get their head raised.
Sean's saying there's going to be a knockout. Do you believe that? And if so, who's getting knocked out?
I could see either fighter knocking out the other. I just think that, of course, it's more natural for Wilder to get the knockout. And I think that it would be more conventional for Fury to win by decision. But would it shock me if Fury were to knock out Wilder? No, it wouldn't really shock me. But would I bet on it? No. I wouldn't bet on it. I would say that if Fury's going to win, it's going to be by decision. If Wilder wins, it's going to be by knockout. As of right now, I'm going to pick Fury by decision. But it's very, very, very tentative. It's like 50.1% to 49.9% Fury decision versus Wilder knockout. We'll see.
My stance on a prediction. I haven't predicted all week. Everybody's pushing back on me. Come on, you're dancing. No, I'm not. This fight is dancing. This fight is too close to call on paper. And then obviously what we saw in the first fight, it was a split draw. There's nothing polarizing about either guy where I can say this dude is going to win the fight. But that speaks to the magnitude of this fight. This speaks to the fact that this is a super fight. And the winner of this fight is going to be the guy that executes under the lights. And I don't know.
Right, it was a split draw, not majority draw. Split draw.
That is.
Yeah.
So we present the facts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Make a case for both guys. Then we step back and let them be great.
But Dre, come on now.
Step back and let him be great.
But we in Vegas.
Can we do that?
In the spirit of
Step back and let him be
No,
great.
we ain't getting that.
Come on. Step back and let him be
Come
great.
sometime, man. Roll the dice right now.
I do
Dre.
that 90% of the time. 10% I gotta be wise too, though.
Oh, man, you're too buttoned up with that response, right?
He's calling the fight. He's involved with the telecast. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be a part of the commentating team. I actually would like Andre Ward to be a part of the commentating team because he definitely would be way better than Lennox Lewis or Joe Goosen. I'm not sure who's going to be calling the fight, but he knows that he can't come out and make those type of predictions. I actually would love to see Andre Ward and Sean Porter as a part of the commentating team, maybe with Brian Kenny as the lead guy, but who knows what the hell's going to happen.
What's your pick?
Obviously,
I say Wilder.
yeah, obviously Wilder can do it with one punch.
Yeah.
Fury is going to...
Notice when Marcellus Wiley said, I'm going to pick Wilder early, Andre Ward said, early? Really? Why is that? Because he's a natural pure boxer. He's always going to side with the pure boxer. So even though he's acting as if he does not have a pick, he thinks that Fury is going to win by decision if he had to pick somebody.
to be
I think it's going to be
multiple.
a accumulation. Yeah.
If you think there's
Which
going to be a
happens
knockout
first.
and one guy only needs one punch,
Yeah.
you think Wilder's going to knock him out?
I
You do.
What happened was...
Wow. Humming.
Stop. Y'all came in with me.
See, that's what happened when you force to make a pick.
Absolutely.
Stand your ground, Sean.
To this day, Andre, these guys in this big of a fight, could you come out of retirement and fight this kind of money that they're generating? Could you come out of retirement and want to fight one of these guys at the heavyweight division?
Andre Ward has, 4 kids, 5 kids? He's doing very well as a commentator, great announcer, extremely eloquent. He needs to sit his ass down. I never liked the idea of him even considering going into the heavyweight division. He does not have the elite level athleticism of a Roy Jones to go up to heavyweight and fight any of those guys. No, just no. Go home and be a family man and continue to commentate. That's what you do best.
I played that back and forth multiple times. In theory, I like where I'm sitting right now. I like sitting here with y'all. And my crew at ESPN, I like it. I like
We don't hit back, huh?
See, the thing is this.
I like that too. Please, brother, just stay where you at and fall back.
I say in theory because you can come up with all these ideas, the money, the opportunity, but then you start remembering the pain. Then you start remembering what it feels like to be hit. And all of a sudden those stars just go away. Random. They just go poof.
Right.
I just ignored that response.
But he's still active. He can't think like I think.
No.
But look, he gonna call me one day and say, "Man, I know what you're talking about."
We gotta go stick around.
But anyway, that's basically it on that, brothers. As of right now, I'm going to make the same pick that I made before their first fight, that being Tyson Fury by decision. If he decides that he's going to utilize kamikaze techniques early on in their fight and take all these unnecessary risks, I could easily see Wilder knocking him out early. But as of right now, I'm going to make the decision and pick Tyson Fury by decision. Maybe split decision. We'll see. So peace.